Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare down greatness, and man, it begins. Starting this weekend, we begin the climb to the national championship. We have 13 days until the men leagues join, and then we climb to the Super Bowl. But we got to give out some college football bets for week 0 today. Does that feel good to say? Yes, it does. I'll answer that question for you. But before we get into that, I'll talk about a little bit of NFL news. There's a couple of things that are popping off, some couple rule changes, some guys getting announced off PUP, other news just like that. But this will basically be the second to last Thursday that is kind of like this. Next week, it'll be kind of similar where I'll give out my college football week 1 bets and then go over some more NFL news and everything. But after that, we begin Pick'em, which I'll explain that a little bit more in the outro. But Pick'em, for those of you who are new, probably one of my favorite series I do on this show. 2 weeks away, baby. But like I said, let's head into the NFL news portion, which Adam Schefter had a lot that he was talking about today. And so like I said, when it comes to some rule changes, the NFL and FPA have announced that players who commit 3 violations of any of these categories in a season will be suspended 1 game. It's hip drop tackles, horse collar tackles, launching, hit on a defensive player, and blindside blocks. I'm very curious to see how this is going to be implemented. Players, like I said, while violations of these categories will carry forward to subsequent seasons, all players will begin 2026 with a clean slate. Players will also have a clearer and faster path to reducing the impact of prior offenses than under the previous system. So I'm hoping this isn't a thing where it's like you do it once, it's like, all right, we're keeping an eye on you now. It sounds like this is basically a thing where it's like, if they start noticing a trend with certain players, they're going to start acting on it with these rules. That's what it feels like more to me personally. But like I said, we'll just have to see this in action. This basically just kind of got announced today, and I'll admit I have not fully dived into the rule just yet. Like truly, it was like 45 minutes ago, maybe like an hour ago, I was made aware of this. So I haven't fully got a chance to dive into it yet. I just know this is something that's going to be happening moving forward. So I just want to make people aware of it because, yeah. I know the hip top tackle, horse collar tackles, that's all something, but it's 3-strike system with a 1-game suspension. Curious to see if that changes anything, or if that's one of those rule changes where, like, was it the line of scrimmage thing at the beginning of the year, where it's like they were nailing it for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it's just like they just quit looking for it. It was like week 12, week 13, they finally called one again. It's like, oh yeah, that was a rule they did this year. I would not be shocked if that happens either, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see if anything changes. The NFL has said it's reached agreements with 3 sports betting operations ahead of 2026. DraftKings, FanDuel, and Fanatics. Interesting to see how they aren't partnered with BetMGM, but that's probably because a Vegas situation maybe. But I just want to bring that up. Those are the 3 that are being brought. I guess those 3 sports books they partner with. The Steelers have restructured DK Metcalf's contract, converting base salary into a signing bonus and creating nearly $18 million in 2026 cap salary space. So this happening makes you wonder. This was kind of announced 4 hours ago. Are the Steelers finally moving on this Joey Porter news? Because Joey Porter still hasn't signed. He is not practicing. Christian Gonzalez, similar situation with the Patriots. He's at least practicing. He's out there and playing, but it kind of sounds like, according to Adam Schefter, that they're not even close in numbers, but obviously that could change overnight or within a couple hours. But as of now, it sounds like the Patriots and Gonzo are kind of a bit far away, and it might be the same with the Steelers and Joey Porter. But they got it done at the wire with Cam Hayward last year. Curious to see if they're going to do that again this year with him. Cedric Tillman got released by the Cleveland Browns, so they're trying to basically just clear cap space and cut down because cutting day, I think, is officially sometime next week, and they have to get down their rosters to 53 men. Colts have activated Alec Pierce off the PUP list, which is awesome. He's out there at practice today, and he looked pretty decent. He looked pretty good, so it seems like he's going to be ready for week 1, which is very, very nice. The Colts could definitely use him. The Packers are signing Jonnu Smith to a 1-year deal as well. So that should be interesting signing with him and Tucker Kraft there. Obviously, he's not going to be starting over Tucker Kraft, but he might be used a decent amount in 2 tight end sets. Sean McDermott is hanging out at joint practices with the Chicago Bears' Ben Johnson. So that's a guy where you got to think, hey, he's probably going to be doing some consulting roles for the Bears this season. I will say, I forgot to totally mention this at the beginning of the show. This is something to do with the Bengals. I came on and talked about how Jamar Chase kind of had a scare with his knee. Sounds like it was just a hyperextension. That's insane. For the way he was looking, the way he kind of reacted, for it to only be a hyperextension. First off, that's awesome, but that's insane that just all it ended up being. I thought it could end up being something potentially worse, but it's awesome to hear that all it is just a hyperextension. So everything should be good with all him. We just had a little bit of a minor scare. The Jed York situation is wild. So apparently he was texting a woman that he thought was a prostitute, but ended up being police in a police sting as they were doing stuff when it comes to human trafficking and all that. So he's booked in jail, released after a $5,000 bond. They did just release the body cam footage recently. Just a wild situation. The legal matter's been resolved, and obviously there's going to be no additional comment, but I will say, not the best, not the best look and the best timing for the 49ers. Bud Clark is going to be put on IR, as well as offensive lineman Mason Richmond. They are not losing either of these guys from the year, but they're going to be out for a while. And it sounds like broken ankle for Bud Clark, and for Richmond, it's an injury to his right leg, and I don't think they've really announced. They just said major injury to his right leg. Major long-term injury, excuse me. But I don't think they've really said what that was. So that's a big loss in depth and starter for linemen and defense. The SEC Big Ten kind of announced they aren't going to do the whole NFL player thing and the NBA player thing when it comes to players coming back to their sport. I think we talked about this briefly on Tuesday, but overall, pretty much the sounds of it. Basically, players like Zaquan Walker, who were trying to go up in training camp stuff and come back to the NFL, not happening. So hopefully all this is going to get moved on to, but you know it's college football, so we're just waiting to hear what the next scandal is and who did it this time, because college football seems like they always have chaos. I mean, there's just always something going on. So Calvin Austin got carted off joint practices. I believe it's joint practices, or either way, he got carted off of practice 2 days ago or so. And now it's official that he has torn his ACL. He's going to be done for the season now for the Giants, which is pretty tough loss. It was a non-contact injury in a one-on-one drill, so you just hate to see that. He was looking to play a significant role in the Giants offense this year, potentially in the Wan'Dale Robinson role. It just sucks for him because he's finally going to get a chance to play. He really didn't get a chance to show himself with the Steelers. He finally now got a chance, and then now he's just hurt. Really, really tough, man. Braden Smith was carted off with an injury to his leg, I believe. Oh, this one was not immediately known. I was blurring lines between what I just read for the last guy and this guy. I apologize. Yeah, there hasn't been really too much out on Braden Smith yet, so that's probably going to come out before I get on next time, so just keep an eye out for that. Mahomes is going to sit against the preseason finale. Tua's going to start the Falcons preseason finale. And it sounds like Michael Penix might win the QB job, which, is this the first time in history a guy might lose a QB battle to a guy who wasn't able to play? I mean, Tua's just having it really, really rough down there. He is really taking on the shins and social media as well. I mean, it is just not a good time to be Tua right now. And honestly, that quarterback situation is getting so dire. I'm kind of scared. I'll admit, my fantasy draft, I got 7th overall this year. There's second round where I'm looking at Drake London. It's like, man, I'm a little bit nervous for him this year. I'm nervous for Bijan Robinson this year. I mean, this quarterback situation is nasty for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's to the point for me where it's like, oh boy, I'm not thinking they're going to have the best of seasons if this is what everything is starting to look like. Fans of Cleveland are not happy about the Deshaun Watson situation. There were some fans that came out and they were taping signs to the Jim Brown statue. I mean, fans are not happy. Fans are really not. That's just the best way to put it. Fans are not happy with the Deshaun Watson situation right now. And it is getting pretty loud. There's no way he starts the full season. I don't think. I could be totally wrong on that, but I just don't see how Deshaun Watson starts the full season. And you know the second Shedeur Sanders getting there. Oh, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm curious to see if the fans end up booing Deshaun Watson. I would not be shocked at all if he gets booed a decent amount. I cannot wait to hear how loud those cheers are. First off, I hope the stands are even filled, because if they just boycott Deshaun Watson and then Shedeur Sanders comes in, no one's there. It's not gonna be loud, but I cannot wait to hear how loud those cheers are gonna be when Deshaun Watson gets benched or they announce that Shedeur Sanders. The first time Shedeur Sanders jogged on that field to start or even play, fans are gonna be loud, and I cannot wait to see that. To be honest, that's gonna be That's gonna be a cool sight to see. And honestly, Browns fans deserve it. They've been through some hell lately. NFL's looking into whether it should punish Jeb York or not. We're gonna so this is what Goodell came out and said. It's being reviewed under personal conduct policy. We'll do that when there's, and then he said, Goodell said at the Wednesday's owners meetings in Atlanta, we'll do that, and when there's something to be reported on, we'll talk. Honestly, I don't. He's already got punished by the law and everything. I think the NFL maybe will fine him potentially, but this is one of those things where it's like it's. I mean, it is a bad look for the league, I'll admit, but I don't think they're gonna like make him sell or anything. So I feel like there's only so much they can do to punish him, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But that's just kind of how I see it. This is this is absolutely insane. So the NFL scrapping its Pro Bowl, which is just like, whoa, uh, really? So it came out and said the Pro Bowl has been taking place since 1951. In some capacity, they've had some type of Pro Bowl. There's going to be no standalone game. 88 players will still receive the honors and everything with no alternative selections, which makes sense because if you aren't going to have a game or do anything, there's no reason to. All-Star games, I think, for all leagues have been fraudulent for a long time, and they haven't necessarily represented the very best premium of the sport for those players. Peter O'Reilly, the NFL's executive vice president of clubs business international league events, said, I think all leagues have struggled with that. We made a switch 4 years ago from the tackle Pro Bowl to the flag game. That was more strategic for us in many ways. We saw a decrease in the replacement players. But yeah, basically sounds like overall that they're scrapping the Pro Bowl. I'm curious to see if they're even going to do like games or stuff like that. But they said, but ultimately the Pro Bowl at a score is about honoring the best of that season on the field in real games. And the shift here is about shifting the focus from the game, which ultimately there's people's attention goes. Which is ultimately where people's attention goes, especially the replacement players tied to it, to the honor, which makes sense. So I don't want to say they're calling out Shedeur Sanders, but Shedeur Sanders, Snoop Huntley, kind of those guys where it just got to the point where it's like, okay, we aren't even honoring the best of the best anymore. This is literally like guys are like, hey, you're the 8th, 9th, 10th quarterback that we're asking, and we can't have the 2 there in the Super Bowl, so do you want it? So I do agree that they should change that part up a bit. It's just weird that it's gotten to this point. I mean, it's not shocking at all, just based on how the game's gone and how everything's been trending, especially in all-star games across all sports. But yeah, it's just really weird, man. Really wild situation that's actually happening. I want to look into this more. I'll admit I have not looked into this too much. So Darius Smith has opened up on Wednesday that he suddenly retired last year because of his mom's health. Uh, I wasn't supposed to retire. Got a phone call from my mom's doctor telling me that she don't have much longer to be on this earth. So I let the team know. Obviously, they weren't trying to let me leave, but that was the only thing I had left to retire, so I retired. Smith added that his father and grandmother also died shortly after his mother's passing. The veteran pass rusher went on to say that he got a call from the Cleveland Browns this summer, which sparked his return from the NFL. Smith ended up signing with the Falcons after failing to work out a contract with the Browns. And then he came out and said, "This is my happy place, man. Come back to play football. I was in a dark place, but coming out, running out onto the fields, the fans, not just the fans, man, the joy. That's what I get from winning and just getting sacks." I'll be honest. I want to watch. There's I think a video interview where he talks about it a little bit. I want to look a little bit more into that because that's heartbreaking, man. That's heartbreaking stuff. That's just like it. Literally, is just like this sounds like a guy based on the last quote I just read. Absolutely loves football. Was everything all football, all about it, and something in his life was so. I mean, which makes sense. His family was dying around him, something so drastic just pulled him away from the game that's just sad, man. Truly, it's really sad. So I mean, it's hard not to root for this guy after you read something like that. So shout out to Zadarius Smith. I'm excited to see how he's going to do this year. And the final thing I want to talk about: Leonard Williams signed a 3-year, $90 million extension. It includes $56 million in guaranteed money. He was originally expected to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the 2026 season, but now he's going to be tied up for a little bit longer. They got him in trade in 2023 via the New York Giants. So, I mean, this is a guy who, since the trade, has been a pretty good player for them. He's kind of been a stud. Williams, 113 pressures, ranked second amongst all defensive tackles behind only Chris Jones. And I believe that was for last year. So, I can lie. I don't think 113 pressures last year sounds like a lot, but I don't know. They didn't put a year onto this, but maybe it's since 2024. But either way, Jason, Devin Witherspoon, now Leonard Williams are all getting signed to extensions for the Seahawks. So that officially brings me into my college football bets for week 0. How this is going to go, and we'll do it a little bit different for college football season. Like I said, for the NFL season, I guess I'll explain the pick'em portion of this a little bit. So how it's going to go on normal Thursdays from here on out is how pick'em's going to work. It's pretty much I'm going to go through the whole slate schedule. I'll talk about the week before that happened. Obviously, we won't do that week 1, but I'll kind of go over what happened the week before, just kind of like my thoughts and some picks, how it went. Then we come in, and this is on Yahoo Pick'em, by the way, but we'll basically go through. I'll go through every game, and then we give it a number. We don't do spread, we just do money line because I'll admit this is a family league that I do it with. But so a lot of them, I'll admit, don't keep up totally with the spreads and everything, so money line's a lot easier. I just love doing it because it helps me talk about every single game, kind of talk about where I'm thinking, where I'm leaning, and helps lead into the bets. But it's a lot of fun, man. I haven't won it in a couple years, so I'm itching to win it again. But basically, we'll just go through every game, give it a number 1 through 16 of confident, 16 being the most confident, 1 being like, I don't know who's the hell's going to win this game. But we'll do it like that. We'll go over the rest of my NFL bets, then I'll give up my college football bets. And that's pretty much going to be every Thursday after these next 2 weeks. But because we don't have any NFL football to talk about, we will be talking about college football week 0. So the first game we'll talk about is obviously the game in Ireland. I'll admit, this is the first year. I'm on a 4-0, I think, streak. We're going to start off with, where I was just talking about the Ireland game. Damn, it moved up to 8.5. If I can find, I guess I'm going to take 7.5. So TCU minus 7.5. I really like that number. The only thing that makes me nervous is this is overseas. So this is the Ireland game. We are, knock on wood, 4-0. The last 4 years, we have been on the winning side of either the person who covers the spread or the team that wins the game. We even picked the year that I believe I think it was Northwestern that only won 1 game all year under Scott Frost or Pat Fitzgerald. Whoever it was that beat Nebraska, I think, overseas in Ireland. I can't remember who it was, but either way, when they won only 1 game in the year, we picked that. It was awesome. So I'm hoping to keep the Ireland streak going. But like I said, minus 8.5 is where the numbers move that now too. Over under 46.5. I just think TCU is a better team overall. I do think that North Carolina has improved a little bit compared to what they were last year, but TCU just seems like a team that should be, I don't want to say leaps and bounds better than them because that might be a bit dramatic, but they do feel like a team that's going to lean into the run game a little bit more, play a little bit more keep away instead of being high scoring, fast paced offense. So if that is the case, I do for them to control the clock a little bit. And it should be truly a game where the defense, like I heard, forget which show I was listening to, but they were talking about like, where hey, maybe it's a touchdown, 2 field goals, maybe 3 field goals, so you get a 16-24 score. I could see that honestly being in the realm of possibilities. They could also, TCU could just win this game like 31-20, something like that, like that, or even 31-17. Like there's a world where I do think TCU wins is pretty big, but I do like the 7.5 overall. I think I'm just gonna end up jumping on it. I was a little bit nervous about it, but I'd be nervous, man. First weekend of the year, let's have a little bit of fun, responsibly, of course. But I do like, and just like I said, overall, I just can't take North Carolina. Even if they are going to be slightly a bit improved, I just think that TCU might be a little bit too much for them to handle. The one thing they do have in this favor, it's in Ireland, so anything can happen. Maybe that'll be a little bit of help for them. USC minus 38.5 is one I am tempted to take. I'm probably going to lay off this one. I mean, they should just beat the shit out of San Jose State, to be for real, but it is first. I mean, they could take their foot off the gas pedal. Maybe there could be a backdoor section late, so that does make me a little bit nervous, but overall, that is a game that I kind of lean USC, but I probably am going to end up staying away from it overall. NC State versus Virginia. I think I like Virginia minus 4.5. I was originally starting to like NC State, but I'll admit, this might be another stay away from me too. Check out StayOnSports.com. I'm going to do the final part of my breakthrough of this, and if I end up pulling the trigger on these, I'll add them to the article, but as of right now, my official bet's only TCU. I have USC and Virginia as maybes. NC State's defense is not the best. I'm kind of nervous how their defense is going to play. There's going to be a lot of reliance on CJ Bailey this year, so he's really going to have to be a stud. It should be a fun offense, like I said, but might be a little bit tough for them. I mean, their schedule is friendly, so that will help them out with probably having a good record, but for hitting their over, this is one of the few games where it's going to be like massive. Like they need to win Virginia, and they also need to win against Vandy to help their over-under, so yeah, I'm starting to look at that situation where it's like, man, that makes me think this game might be a little bit closer. Virginia had a really good season last year. Do you think they take I don't know, maybe they'll take a step up this year, but the record might not be as good. But either way, I do think I see them having a really I think it's a better year this year. That's the best way to put it. They're coming off their first 11-win season as well in history. And there's a good chance they might be a contender in the ACC. So, sorry, I was trying to find my notes about them. So I was trying to read through it and see if there's anything that could relate a little bit. So, this is going to be a big game for both sides. So, I do like Virginia if I'm going to pick a side. So, I'm going to go there. North Dakota State is 6.5-point favorites over Jacksonville State. That feels like a decent amount. I do kind of like Jacksonville State, but this is going to be North Dakota State first home game as an FBS school. That place is going to be rocking. If Jacksonville State's able to handle the noise, they should be able to potentially at least keep the game close. But I think this is going to be just a straight up stay away from me. I just think I'm going to stay away from that one. That's going to be a fun game. I cannot wait to watch that game on Saturday, but probably going to stay away from that one. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't fully like either side too much. Sacramento State plus 9.5 against Eastern Michigan. Kind of lean Sac State plus 9.5, but at the same time, I don't think I want to bet on either of those teams, so I'm probably just going to straight up stay away from that game. And we got 3 more games to talk about. I will be betting 2 of the 3 of these. I don't want to say for sure. One for sure I'm betting. There's another one I lean. The third one I'm probably just straight up staying away. Stanford minus 3.5 over Hawaii. Give me Hawaii plus 3.5. I understand they are coming to the mainland, but Stanford is not going to be the best of teams this year. They might take a little bit of a step forward, but it's not going to be by much. And yeah, a lot of their good players I think got either taken or are gone. So that's a team that, yeah, I think they're mainly favored because of the travel for Hawaii, but Hawaii has a really decent quarterback, and they were pretty decent last year. Bring back a couple decent pieces from that, so I just like them to keep it within a field goal. Maybe they won't even win it, but man, is it gonna feel good to take Hawaii week 0 and just be watching a late night game, looking over at the Hawaii game and just smile. It's like, man, we're officially back, man, because nothing feels right like betting a Miami plus 3.5. I mean, just Miami in general, or excuse me, not Miami. Whoa, Hawaii. There's nothing like betting a Hawaii game late at night when you've either had a good day or a bad day. It's just like, man, we got one more bet to fire. Hawaii. But like I said, I like them to keep it close. I also like they can get it at plus 100 because, yeah, I do think that this team can definitely keep it within a field goal against Stanford. Florida State, New Mexico State, 32.5-point spread. Excuse me. That's just a straight up stay away from me. I have no interest in betting that on either side because I'm not too sure Florida State will have a great year this year, so I don't want to bet on them to cover a 32.5-point spread at all. Final game, UNLV minus 4.5 against Memphis. Memphis plus 4.5. Check out StereoSports.com. I probably will officially have a bet on this game in a couple of hours. I'll admit this is the last game I haven't fully got to the preview of. There's a really good player on Memphis I know of, and I know Calandria just got announced as starter for UNLV. No idea if we're going to see both quarterbacks out during this game, so that is one where it's like I want to look a little bit more into that before I officially give a play on it. But yeah, that's week 0. So my official bets for college football week 0. We got TCU minus 7.5, Hawaii plus 3.5, and Virginia minus 4.5 is a maybe, but I might probably gonna end up taking that in a nasty boy because that nasty boy coming back too, baby. I can't wait, man. We're officially back. So thank y'all for watching. Thanks for support. Really do appreciate it. I'll be back in this feed next week to react a little bit to college football week 0, as well as some more NFL news and everything that's going on in NFL training camps. It's crazy to think that we're officially here, man. 13 days away from the NFL as of today. College football week 0 starts tonight with some FCS teams, and then officially begins Saturday with some FBS teams. FBS, excuse me. Woo! Man, I cannot wait. But remember, check out StereoSports.com. I will have this article out. I'll for sure have it out by Friday, but I'm probably going to work on it a little bit today and try to get it out tonight. If not, like I said, I'll have my official bets out for college football week 0 out on Friday. And we here, people. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy some football. We back.